Hey there, StarCraft 2 fans. Welcome back to Game 3. Actually, this is Game 12 of the tournament, the Karma Kraft tournament here. We have Game 3 of Cheeseblock versus Moonmonk. The first game we had Cheeseblock show his Terran skill and really overpower the Zerg player, but last game Moonmonk made an epic comeback using Banelings and Zerglings just to overwhelm the Terran player and really starve him out of minerals. The Terran player couldn't really come back from that starvation. Brought in Mutalisk at the end to really overpower the Terran player. So this game here on Steps of War, obviously a very Terran favored map simply because of the short rust distance, so the Zerg player is definitely going to want to get some early defense up to really defend against that Terran onslaught that's bound to be coming. So far we don't have anything overly cheesy, no 6-pool or anything like that. Terran throwing up his supply depot at the front, obviously to prevent that Zergling run by. With that short rush distance, obviously the Zerglings can definitely make it to the Terran base in almost no time, it seems like. So basically just drones being produced at this time. We do have the early scout from the Zerg player moving out across the map, most likely to check out for any sort of proxy barracks that could be coming from any sort of cheese play. That would be very common on this map, simply because the Terran player could probably get an easy win if he were to proxy over to the Zerg base. We do see the Zerg, the drone here punching away at that SCV, forcing Cheeseblock to bring off an extra SCV to delay a little bit of mining. We do have the refinery, going down for the Terran player, as well as an extractor going down for the Zerg player. Spawning pool started about 25% complete, so going to be looking to get out some early Zerglings. Looks like he started that pool at about 13, so probably a 13 pool, 13 gas. Definitely going to be getting out speed pretty quickly, I would assume, to prevent any sort of Terran aggression early on in the game. Barracks nearly finished here. Going to be able to plop down that tech lab and actually wall off using that, or he could plop a supply depot down there. Just depends on what sort of path he wants to take. You will notice that the Zerg player is actually microing the drone around here, doesn't have it on any sort of move pattern, so definitely going to have to pay attention to make sure he doesn't lose that drone too early on. Wants to get as much scouting off as possible before it does die. The orbital command now on the way for the Terran player. It looks like he is actually going to elect to go for the supply depot here, which is going to block the drone off. The drone is taken out by the Marine, and the SCV is going to go ahead and should be getting back to work here, or he may just kind of let him chill there. It's up to him what he wants to do. Actually, he's a little bit indecisive on what he's doing. I guess he's actually going to go ahead and throw down the factory there, so does have enough gas and minerals now to go ahead and drop that factory down. So probably going to see a similar playstyle to what he's done before, potentially going to throw down a reactor on top of this barracks and use that to pump out some early Hellions to get some aggression going against the Zerg player. We do see that the Zerg player is bringing out a couple Zerglings here, going to go ahead and take out this scouting SCV that's trying to prevent any sort of expansion from going down. It looks like the Zerg player probably going to go ahead and drop his expansion, so a little bit unusual, I would think. I would think most Zerg players are going to go one base on this particular map, being the short rush distance and the likelihood for the Terran player to drop a couple siege tanks here and really just bombard this this natural expansion. But looks like the Zerg player electing a little bit different route than what I would have expected. We do have Zergling speed nearly halfway finished. Going to go ahead and pull out with a couple Zerglings here across the map. Going to try and put on a little early aggression. There are a couple Marines up here which should be able to shut that down. We do have the starport in production for the Terran player, as well as this reactor here, just finishing up for the barracks. Looks like he is going to go ahead and do the swap on that, bring over the factory. Definitely get some Hellions pumping out right away. Going to go ahead and do his normal build. This is very common for Cheeseblock. Unfortunately, his Marine has been pushed outside. I'm not sure if that's what he intended there. Yeah, he's going to go ahead and pull that back inside. Could have lost that Marine if those Zerglings had come up there at just the right time. But this has been Cheeseblock's pretty much his only build that he's used for these games, is just to pump out some early Hellions and then bring this Banshee up to the Zerg base and start some early aggression. So fortunately, the Zerg player should know this is coming, should be pretty well prepared for it. Hopefully he's going to be bringing out some roaches, which is what we see right here. He's also probably going to be getting his lair after this next queen comes out to get that early detection. Probably going to start pumping a queen immediately, yes, from this hatchery. So definitely wants to get those 3 queens up to push back that Banshee aggression that's going to be coming. Does have 4 Zerglings here just moving around, testing the water. This couple Hellions here are definitely going to prove a bit of a problem for him if he can't get those roaches up in time. He does have a spine crawler up here at the top of his ramp. Probably going to move that over in this area to not only block the ramp, but also protect part of his expansion over here as well from the Hellion aggression. We do have the 4 Hellions pushing forward. Obviously no blue flame upgrade because he did it out of the reactor factory. But the Hellions are very deadly nonetheless, doing 14 damage versus light per shot, not to mention the splash damage. So it does manage to capture that that creep tumor there. So definitely a good free shot to get to prevent that creep spread from happening any more quickly than it really needs to for the Terran player. A couple roaches now, so this could be a bit of a problem for the Terran player with the roaches out this early. He should really be spreading these roaches out here, really to prevent any sort of run-by that could happen. Does have a couple queens down here, so he's going to be able to push away that those early Hellions, I believe. We do have a Banshee now heading out across the map from the Terran player. Probably going to go for some type of two-pronged attack. Going to bring the Banshee around the back, it looks like. Looks like he's going to bring it into the main, whereas the Hellions are going to come through the front. All those Zerglings getting roasted away there as they come out across the map. Didn't even get a single shot off. However, these roaches here are going to be able to do significant damage. We do see that they're trying to kite around a little bit with the Banshees. One Banshee nearly being taken out. Let's take a look and see what this Banshee's going to do, however. Sorry, one Hellion nearly being taken out. But the Banshee pushing back here to the back. Only one Queen up here to defend, and actually the Terran player does have Cloak this time, so he's going to be able to do significant damage. The layer only about 80% of the way done, so it's going to be some time before we have an Overseer available. He's going to go ahead and pull all of his drones to the front of his base, producing several more drones. The Queen here, she's just having to back away. Obviously no Overseers, so these Queens really are in a bad spot right now. Probably shouldn't be up here taking fire from this Banshee. The layer now finished, so we're probably going to see an Overseer coming in very quickly here. Not actually sure where that is. Oh, there she is right there. So the Overseer going to be coming in. However, he's losing several drones. Going to have to pull those away. If we take a look over here at the income tab, we will see that the Zerg player still has quite a few Harvesters. Actually, he's dropped down to 22 now. But the Overseer now in place, he needs to get over here with these Queens and do as much damage as quickly as possible. However, he's just continuing to take fire. I'm not sure if he's just not microing properly or just paying more attention to his macro at the moment, but he did lose a few more drones there, probably somewhat needlessly. The Zerg player probably going to have to go ahead and throw down an Evolution Chamber and get up a couple of Spore Crawlers, simply because he does not have enough Queens spread out amongst his bases to continue to defend that type of attack. Excuse me, the Banshee's coming up here to the back now. Both Banshees sitting on a little bit of energy, not really enough to stay cloaked for any length of time. However, they're going to be able to take out several more drones here. If we notice, the drone count is still dropping. The Zerg player in a really bad spot here. Cheeseblock able to make really good use of these Banshees in terms of dealing a lot of damage to the economy early on. One Banshee is cloaked, the other Banshee unfortunately is out of energy and only has 23 health points left. However, with both Queens up here now, these should be pushed back. That one Banshee moving into position, unfortunately it gets taken out. The other Banshee now moving into position, probably inadvertently, and it is also going to be taken out by those Queens. However, the damage has been done at only 19 Harvesters for the Zerg player. On two bases, that's never something you want to see. If we go back over to the production tab, we do have some tanks out now for the Terran player. We also have siege mode, which has been completed. Looks like the starport's going to be providing a little bit of vision here. They could actually be looking to push out with these siege tanks, knowing what a good position he's in. Unfortunately, I'm not sure that his tanks can actually get through. Take a look here. It looks like it may kind of be blocked off. Yeah, he's actually going to have to raise the barracks to get his tanks out of his base because he's built so many buildings so close together here. But again, that is definitely to prevent that early Baneling bust. Doesn't want any Banelings to run up there and just completely decimate his wall and have Zerglings rush into his base. Does take out another creep tumor there, so an unfortunate loss for the Zerg player. Terran player has pushed out with some SCVs here. He's got quite a few SCVs in this army, so probably going to be looking to make somewhat of an all-in play. Does go ahead and seize the tanks. The roaches on the high ground are going to be spotted by that medevac, and they're going to immediately unsiege, move a little bit closer. He does see that expansion now within his range and does want to go ahead and start shelling away on it. We do see this siege tank is just in range of these drones within that dotted line, as well as the siege tanks. So going to go ahead and drop some units up here on this high ground. Actually, he's elected to, doesn't want to pick up those SCVs. That wouldn't be very practical. Wants to keep the SCVs down there, repairing those tanks, brings up the Marines to the high ground. He's going to start picking off these drones one by one. And if we go back over to the income tab, we can see that the income for the Zerg player, again taking a hit. He's down to 26 Harvesters, the Queen being taken out. The hatchery is under heavy assault. The good thing about having these tanks staggered is that they're firing at different time points between when the roaches are assaulting the Terran player. We do see several Marines and Marauders pushing forward. I don't believe he intended to stem these units down here. I think he only wanted to stem these units, but a bit of a misclick there, nothing major. He does go ahead and pull some more SCVs up here. Again, I think that was an inadvertent mistake that he made. I don't think he actually intended to pull his SCVs up here. Looks like he's going to probably bring the rest of his infantry up here, again stemming his entire infantry army. These infantry units are going to come around here and try to assault the Spine Crawler, but I don't think that was his intention. The Zerg player is in a really bad spot here, bringing down the drones to attack, it looks like. And unfortunately, I think this is going to be it for the Terran player. I'm not sure what he's doing with his drones. They're really just falling into a line of fire there, and the siege tanks are really doing so much damage. They're attempting to attack, but the Zerg player is forced to call a GG. again, really what I think that came down to is that the Zerg player shouldn't have gone for that early expansion. He did tech up to Roaches, which is always a good play, but with those Banshees early on, they were just able to do so much damage to that Zerg economy, and just basically obliterate any chance the Zerg had of winning this game here on Steps of War. So that does take us to a 2-1 victory for Cheeseblock over Moonmonk. That will make the last series Cheeseblock versus Mouse, who was the winner of the previous series. So we've actually seen this series before. It's a Terran versus Terran. So we'll be looking forward to that. Games 13, 14, and 15 coming up. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the comment section below. Otherwise, please subscribe, and thanks for watching.